Hey guys, Cooking with Kim D here. Hope you're doing well today. I wanted to show you guys what I'm doing in the Deluxe cooking blender. I love this thing. This has so many different functions, and it's not just for making smoothies, although it does make incredible smoothies. So it has several different functions. You can do smoothies, you can make alternative milk, so you can make cashew and almond and whatnot kind of milks. It goes through a process in here, and then it comes with a strainer bag, so you can get all the fine bits out of it to make your alternative milk. You can grind. I make homemade peanut butter inside of here. This is, all it is one, I forget how many ounces, one of the tall skinny bottles of lightly salted dry roasted peanuts. That is all I add to it. If you do the unsalted ones, you can just add a little bit of salt if you want a little salt in your peanut butter. But I use the grind setting. So you pour your nuts in, put it in. Your nuts will start kind of creeping up the side of the glass. So this tamper comes with this, and this tamper is built to not go far enough that the blades will hit it. So you kind of use this to push down your nuts, and it makes a very smooth and creamy peanut butter. You can do it chunky as well, but I happen to like mine creamy. So you can do the peanut butters in there. I do homemade hummus in here on the grind setting. You can make soups in here, so pureed soups. There is a butternut squash soup recipe that comes with the book. I cannot find my book. I don't know where it is right now. The booklet that comes with it, I think it's probably my favorite soup that I've ever had. There's a recipe for a homemade granola that goes with it that you put on top. Excellent. Sweet potato soups, regular creamy potato soups, tomato bisques, all different type of soups in here. But yes, this does cook. It does heated purees. I do a hidden veggie marinara in here. So if you have very picky eaters, both young or adult, that don't want veggies but love pasta, it puts some zucchini and some carrots and whatnot in with your tomatoes, tomato products. It cooks it up in here, and you have a homemade sauce to pour on top of your pasta afterwards. It was very good, super easy, and we got a little boost from some extra veggies that we normally wouldn't have had on a pasta night. You can make sauces. This makes incredible nacho cheese sauce to pour over nachos. It does so much, and like I said, it comes with a booklet that's got a whole bunch of recipes in it, and then if you go on my website, you can find a whole bunch more recipes for this. And then one of the other settings that I use a lot is to make homemade jam. So this is some homemade blueberry jam that I made. The peanut butter, one tall bottle of the peanuts will make one container of peanut butter, and the jam makes 2 of these. So I usually have one for me and give one to my mom. But love the jam setting too. Works great. Super simple. I think it's like a pound of blueberries, some sugar, some pectin, and that's it. It's so easy. So tonight, oh, the other thing I wanted to show you is it does make incredible smoothies. Now, this is the Smoothie Attachment. If you are somebody who likes to take your smoothies on the go, then I would definitely suggest this. It actually has another sleeve that goes over here. This comes out. This is the blade here. It comes with a cover that's got a hole with a straw. So if you are somebody who likes your smoothies on the go, this might be right up your alley. But you do not have to have the Smoothie Attachment in order to make smoothies. You can make perfectly good smoothies inside of here on its own. Another product that does not come with it, but that I strongly recommend, is this long skinny scraper. So the shape of this actually fits really well in between the blades at the bottom. So when you're making peanut butter and hummus and things like that nature, you can really use it to scoop everything out well. So I highly recommend this if this is something that you're looking at. All right, tonight I'm getting ready for the holidays, and I am making some homemade eggnog. So I just figured I'd show you guys what I'm doing. So it's a 2-step process. So all I'm gonna do is add in, I've got 3 cups of whole milk, and I'm using a lactose-free milk. And I've got a 1.5 cups of heavy cream. And then to that, I am adding a 1/2 cup You can add bourbon or a dark rum. I'm actually using, this is a Hungarian oak dark roasted rum that our friends actually developed. So I'm going to try this in here this time around. So I need a half a cup of this. It's called Kuva. And if you've ever heard me talk about cabin fever, it's from the same cabin fever maple whiskey. It's from the same creator. All right, so I've got our rum. I've got 1/3 of a cup of sugar. I need a teaspoon of vanilla extract, but I am going to actually use the Pampered Chef vanilla. So this is our double strength Madagascar bourbon pure vanilla. I don't know, can you see that? I know it's so hard to get it on. Anyway, this is a limited time item. If you really like good vanilla flavor, I suggest picking up a bottle of this. It's so good. I bought it years ago, and I was so excited last year when they brought it back that I bought a couple of bottles of it because I didn't know if they would ever come out with it again. And luckily they brought it back this year, so I'll be snagging a few more too. All right, so I added in ½ teaspoon. It would have been a teaspoon if it was regular vanilla. And then I need 1/4 teaspoon of salt. In goes that. And then lastly, 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. I actually have a whole nutmeg, so I'm going to use this instead of the ground stuff. And I'm going to use our small microplane to do this with. So I could very easily, oh, and if you haven't seen the new design, they redesigned it so that it opens up a little bit easier. The other one was a little bit more awkward. So I can either go right over it like this, or if you have a fear of getting fingers stuck, you just put this little sleeve on, put the nutmeg into the hopper, and grate away. I like a little extra nutmeg in my eggnog. All right, the only other thing that will be left to put in this is the actual eggs, but that is going to be in the next process. So this is going to go through and it's going to actually tell me when I need to add my eggs. One of the safety features I love about this is that there is some type of sensor in here that if this isn't lined up with the handle correctly, you actually can't turn the power on. So it's great. You don't have to worry about making any, big messes and stuff that your lid's not on correctly. So that goes on. So I want to select, so I'm going to turn my knob to the sauce button. Oh, and one function that I totally forgot to mention is this actually has a heated wash cycle. So it's especially handy for when you're doing things like hummus and peanut butter that are a little bit more sticky. A lot of things wash out of it super easy with just using the hose of your, the sprayer of your faucet. But things like peanut butter that are a little bit more stuck on, you just add a couple cups of water in here with a few drops of dish detergent and it gets everything out at the bottom. You still got to give it a quick rinse, but it's better than having to get in there and scrub and get your fingers in there. So I'm putting this on the sauce function. I'm going to press the wheel. Hey guys, as you can probably tell, this video has been cut and I'm going to tell you exactly why. So I was doing the first part of my video, I turned on the blender and all of a sudden my eggnog started spilling down the side of my blender and I panicked. I might have had a couple of choice words that don't want to be on video. So I shut it off, I stopped the video, little panic attack, looked at the blender and I'm like, what's wrong with it? I couldn't tell what was wrong with it. And this is a Pampered Chef recipe, so I know that the amounts of the liquid ratio and everything to this is fine. Well, I went back, I cleaned everything up. I was like, well, I'm going to have to borrow somebody else's seal because I looked at the lid and there's supposed to be a seal in this groove right here, okay? So I'm like, oh, the seal must have gotten taken off, misplaced, whatever. I'll borrow somebody's and finish making the eggnog tomorrow. Didn't sit well with me, so I came over and re-examined it. The seal was down here, and I didn't even see it because it was kind of covered in eggnog when the seal is supposed to be up here. So learning experience here, and maybe teaching experience. Your seal is supposed to be on this groove here, not on this groove here. So now I can put my lid on. We're going to turn this to the sauce setting. I'm going to press start. I'm going to let this go through the first process, and then it's going to tell us to add. And that's when we're going to add the egg yolk. So I'm going to start this, pause, and then I'll come back to show you what we're going to do with the egg yolks. Pampered, not perfect. Hey guys, I'm back. All right, so this has done its first stage. Super hot. Now it is time to add the egg yolk. So I have 6 egg yolks here inside one of the silicone measuring cups. Now, the directions, Pampered Chef directions for this say you can add them right to it. I have had no problem doing that when I've made eggnog because I've made this recipe a few times. But some people have complained that they felt the eggs kind of curdled a little bit, that they kind of cooked a little too much, and they didn't like the consistency of it. So if you don't know about tempering, I figured I'd take the opportunity to tell you what that is. So what you do is you actually take a little bit of the hot liquid and you add just a tiny bit to, whoops, as I spill, to your egg mixture. And it's just a real small amount at a time. But what you're doing is you're slowly bringing the temperature of these eggs up rather than putting them all inside of the hot liquid all at once and running the chance of them kind of giving that curdled effect by them starting to cook off. So I'm just going to add in a little bit more. And you want to continuously stir as you are adding your liquid. So that's probably good. So just added some. It's come up to temp a little bit more than it was, so now I shouldn't have a problem adding this to my blender. Before I do that, and it gets all loud and goes through the next process, because what you're going to do is you're going to hit the wheel again, and then it's going to finish cooking because it's going to cook off the rest of these eggs. So this is going to make some beautiful homemade eggnog. This will get put in the fridge. I'm going to let this cool down inside of here, and once this cools down, I'm going to put it in a sealed container, put it in the fridge, let it get cold for the next couple of days for Thanksgiving. Now, to serve my eggnog, you can always add a little bit more spiced rum on top of it, rum, bourbon, whatever, whatever your flavoring is that, your liqueur or not. And this has pretty much all the alcohol is already cooked off at this point, so it really is, safe for kids or whatnot. I don't think my kids really care for eggnog. I'm not really sure, but I love whipped cream on top of my eggnog. So this is our whipped cream maker. Now, this is all the cream I have left, but I want to just show you what it does. So you can actually fill it to this line here. That's the level, the safe level to fill it to. I'm going to add just a teeny tiny. Ooh, I'm getting real low on this one. All right, just a couple of drops of vanilla and then just a tiny bit of powdered sugar. Then all you do is you put this on, tighten that up, and then this here is the base. We're going to use it as a base right now so that it stays on the counter, but it actually can be a lid afterwards. And then all you do is pump. It takes a minute. Now, I have a great big blender that I can definitely pull out. I have had my Flex Plus blender that I can pull out. But sometimes when I just want a little bit of whipped cream, this is just as easy. If the kids want liquid cream for their waffles or whatnot. Now, I don't think it's quite done yet, but I just want to show you where it's going. Oh, it's getting there. So as you can see, it whips your cream. So fresh homemade whipped cream. to put on top of your eggnog. And then lastly, I like to take my whole nutmeg, put it on here again like you saw me do when I was making the eggnog, add a little bit on top, boom, and you have the beautiful cup of eggnog. So I'm going to put this back. Oh, I got to add my egg yolks. I'm going to add my egg yolks. Get those all in there. Put my lid back on. And now it's going to finish its cooking cycle. So super easy. If you've ever made eggnog before, my sister has made homemade eggnog, and you really have to babysit it so that those eggs, you know, so nothing burns, it doesn't scald on the bottom of your pan and whatnot. So the Deluxe Cooking Blender makes a very easy job of products like recipes like this. So the Deluxe Cooking Blender. If you have any questions, please reach out. I'm going to post a whole bunch of recipes that go with the Deluxe Cooking Blender. And again, I know I keep saying it, but especially for items like this, if this interests you, let me know and let's set up a party. All you need is $200 in guest sales, and you could get this for 50% off or more. Have a great night, guys.